Car number 6, that is the Roadways Commodore, driven by Allan Grice, and that at the moment is running in 3rd on the road behind Peter Brock and of course Dick Johnson. Behind Allan Grice, George Fury, John Harvey, Warren Cullen, Jim Richards, Gregg Hansford, then of course Peter Jansen and Gary Rogers, and rounding off the top 10 in car number 28 is Barry Lawrence and Jeff Russell. We have 2 race cam units, of course, for this year's great race, and one of our commentators, one of Australia's most forceful drivers, is, of course, Allan Grice, and he's looking pretty good at this stage, running 3rd on the road. I think he would agree with me.
It's a bit busy out here, doesn't it, Mike?
Allan, thanks very much. Thanks for joining us. We're following you around Mount Panorama. We have a wide international audience this year with viewers throughout England, the United States and New Zealand. Would you like to explain to them just how busy you are?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of hassles. I started with an engine that wasn't all that, make up your mind, thank you. Wasn't all that strong. But as the race has gone on, it's freed up a fair bit. So I think that'll come right. But we've also made a different choice on tyres to anyone else. Just have a look and see where this truck is for a second. Oh, no, wait's right. We've also made a different choice of tyres, which has handicapped us in the first few laps. But hopefully we will have made the right choice. We're holding a gap on Brock at the moment, and the object right at the moment is just to hang on to him and don't let him get him away.
Yes, well, we were talking to Dick Johnson only a short while ago, and he said the same problem, that maybe he made the incorrect choice of tyres.
Well, I hope you're right. But we were slower than we'd wanted to be early, but I've been able to maintain a pretty steady pace since. To do it, I've had to change my driving style a bit. I've got to punch the car across curbs to stop it from understeering, but and then get a bit of tail out like that. But anyway, that's what they pay me for, and we're still holding the times, and we're holding the same sort of gap and picking Brock up just a bit, so all we can do is hang in there and try and avoid all this slow traffic.
Allan, for the viewers watching our telecast overseas this year, perhaps you might like to talk them around the circuit and exactly what you're doing for a lap at Mount Panorama.
Well, this is an important one because it's such a steep hill. Hills don't tend to come across in the right perspective on TV, but believe me, this is awful steep. Back to second for the cutting. Now the car's understeering, so I've got to throw it in and boot it out like that. But still, as I said, that's what they pay me for, second to third. And this is about the most interesting and quickest series of corners in Australia. For this sort of car, we're doing, I guess, 130 mile an hour on 3 and 2 wheels. And you tend to be a bit busy. This is Skyline that's rather daunting for the overseas drivers into the S's. Then the dipper where she goes up on 2 again. Is he going to do the right thing? Has he seen me? Yes, he has. This one I'm having a lot of trouble with. I forgot about that. But that's okay. Forgot about that rubbish on the right there, but the only thing you do when you do that is just over slow, pick up the situation and carry on. So we haven't lost any revs. We wouldn't have lost any time on that. And this is Conrad, we just flew once there. There's another fly down at the bottom here where the car comes off the ground, but if you get right over the left, there, it doesn't fly. Now this is a fly. Get a bit of buffeting from these cars. He's going to Bathurst. He's probably got a bit thirsty.
Allan, there was some controversy about your team and also the Moffat team entering 2 cars. As it's turned out, the decision was the right one for Allan's team after being involved in that accident. They're back to 1 car, and you're back in the same situation now.
Yes, well, it was never intended to be a smart or clever move, just common sense. We both have 2 very good motor cars, and we both chose to take out insurance. Now, Moffat's collected on his premium, hadn't he?
Yes.
But, you know, it's a shame the organisers elected to have a bun fight with us rather than sort it out, and we had to go to the stewards, but that's the name of the game, and there's dollars involved, and a lot of men that all want to win the same race.
Tell me this, Allan, what does the James Hardie 1000 mean to Allan Grice?
Oh, it's a Sunday normally in October, when I come out and get terribly sweaty and try and beat all these other turkeys at doing something that we all do pretty good.
Does this race mean something more to you than any other race?
Yes, certainly. This is the Melbourne Cup. You can be last all year and come last and win this one and you're a hero. And you can win everything all year and come last here and be a mug. So that's how much it means.
Well, thank you for allowing us to invade your privacy in the cockpit. We'll let you get back with your mind on the job. Thank you for those very gracious comments.
Okay, Mike. We'll talk to you later on.
Okay, buddy. Thanks very much. Allan Grice driving with Racecam, one of Australia's top touring car drivers, and he's running strong in this field. Looky here. We've got the race leader, and that, of course, is Larry Perkins. But look who is right behind him. Allan Grice warming to the job of taking the lead away in the James Hardie 1000. And here they come down the straight. Perkins with the pressure well and truly on at this stage, keeping in mind they've already completed their pit stop and Grice is yet to pit.
No, he's not going to get by.
Oh,
Perkins has got the guns.
That will show you the edge that the Dealer Team Commodore has at this stage as they come over the crest, down beneath the bridge and into the braking area at Murray's Corner.
Well, this is as close as the race has been since the flag dropped.
The race leader, Larry Perkins, in the 05 Dealer Team Commodore, and behind him Sydney's Allan Grice. Then back in 3rd place is George Fury, and 4th place is Dick Johnson.
Right up on his tail goes Allan Grice as they go through Hell Corner and head up the mountain once more.
Seems to me the Dealer Team car's got a lot more straight line power, Mike.
Appears to be that way. Grice doing some talking back to his crew, so we won't interrupt him. Marshall's car on the track. They could have started another 15 Marshall's cars today, I think. Okay, coming back up to GTX Bend, there's the truck as well. How'd you like to meet that on the way up Mount Panorama?
Oh, Grice has another shot, but there's a slower car in front.
Just consider how good these guys are. They're on a public road. They're racing. Oh, there's not much room there, but Grice takes the advantage, and Grice goes through to take the lead in the James Hardie 1000. You saw it with Racecam as we drop into the Wilco cutting. Now, Grice has got to play pocket pool here. Make sure he's got Perkins well behind him, and then make a run here on the Freedom Fence entry. Jones at the wheel. Can't get through. Now he goes to the inside, takes him nicely, slips by. So Allan Grice now leads the James Hardie 1000, but he has yet to pit. And of course, joining us live in New Zealand, our viewers, we just have had a change to the lead, of course, in the James Hardie 1000, with Allan Grice going through to take the lead away from Larry Perkins.
I see car 14 parked off the track too, Michael. John English is out of it, so the road's becoming a little bit empty across the top of the mountain.
Yes, we'll try and catch up for you and see what has happened here. Coming down, there's English, the last car on screen. Uh-oh, he's got into the side of the Clearahan Mazda RX-7. Clearahan's heading out to the wall. He decides he's turning the other way. Oh, my goodness me.
Lumps of concrete flying everywhere. Knocked a big hole in the wall.
Well, car number 14, John English.
That's not a good place to leave the mountain either.
Not a good way to treat your car, but he didn't have much to say about it. He clipped the back of the other car out of control, slid off into the concrete wall. And while all that was happening,
Grice is pitting.
Grice is coming into the pit area. Now look at the chicane arrangement here in the pits. You go left, you go right, you go left again, right, and then the run down into the pit road. Now Grice's pit is halfway down this pit road. There are the speed humps. A little bit of acceleration on the brakes. Colin Young will be standing by in the pit area. And here he comes in, the Roadways Team Commodore. So we now have 05 Peter Brock, and we have a driver change now coming in.
In goes Steve Harrington.
Fury's gone by. Johnson has gone by.
Steve Harrington having his helmet adjusted by Allan Grice. 20 seconds gone on the clock for their pit stop.
And Colin Young in the pit area following the action.
37 laps down on the James Hardie 1000. Allan Grice is in the pits. Steve Harrington is now in car 6. Some last-minute instructions from Allan Grice. Mechanics just washing the windscreen, and they've changed 4 wheels, 2 churns of fuel, but a bit of a problem. Harrington can't start the car. Mechanics now pushing it to get it rolling. So a delay here for the Allan Grice Steve Harrington Commodore. Mechanics pushing it furiously up pit lane. The car fires. Steve Harrington back onto the track.
Thank you, Colin Young. So
try and catch a quick word with Allan Grice. Allan, any problems with the car?
No, the car's pretty strong. Brakes are starting to show that they've done 40 laps, but nothing wrong with them.
We'll just let Allan grab a cool drink here. It's been pretty hot work out there.
The engine's good. It's, you know, it's not terribly strong, but it's pretty good. It's very strong in terms of reliability. I'm sure it'll last the day.
What was the problem with the car failing to start?
Got no idea.
So you're confident Steve can run out there at a hot pace?
Oh, yeah, it must be just the battery. We've got a lot of your television gear in there run off our battery, you know.
OK, that's probably helping the problems. That's the word from Allan Grice. Back to Mike Raymond.
OK, thank you very much, Colin Young. Well, Grice is in. He can take a rest for a while, if a racer can have a rest during a 1,000-kilometre event. And 05 is still the race leader. That's, of course, Larry Perkins at the wheel. Now George Fury slipping up into second spot on the grid. Number 17 is Dick Johnson running in third. That drops the Roadways car with Steve Harrington in the wheel, at the wheel, back into fourth spot. And then the Cullen Jones entered Commodore V8, slipping up one more spot. OK, Peter Brock is taking a breather for the moment, and I think he would be delighted to see his co-driver, and a winning co-driver at that, in Larry Perkins, still at the head of the field. Let's go back to Cole Young.
Well, it's Pat Welch down here in the pit studio, actually, Michael, and Peter might be taking a breather, but he's certainly not relaxing, watching the TV monitors very, very closely. A little bit worried when Gricey took Perkins at one stage there.
No, I saw Gricey start to take him and then butt back right off, lose about 100 metres, and I thought, well, looked like he must have really run out of fuel. You know, it's flooding a little bit. I thought maybe he was trying to go too far in the first tank full of petrol. We certainly didn't take any risks. We remember rightly, last year we copped and spluttered and just made it the pits. This year we said we'll come in early, do our assessment on fuel economy, and get it dead right for the second run.
I know you're absolutely delighted as well with the pit stop. Very quick.
Well, you know, we picked up 15 seconds on Gricey there just in the pitch, you know, and that's just, I mean, on the track you have to work very, very hard. 15 seconds, there it was there in the pitch, just with a crew. Did 2 fabulous stops. Mine was 30 seconds and John's was 27 seconds. And that's, I mean, people around just applauded them. They said it was fantastic.
No problems with the car?
No, none at all. I said to Larry, just get in there and go, mate. It's fantastic.
OK, Pete, we'll let you go back to the team and Warwick for a while.
OK, well, I think Mike Raymond wants to have a quick word.
I was just going to... I was only going to say then to you, Peter, that you must be delighted because last year you had a few problems around about this time of the day.
Gee whiz, around about lap 7 I wasn't too happy, but then I remembered I had another car. No, the car's running beautifully, and you learn by your mistakes, Mike, and last year I knew that we'd made a blue. We went to a supplier we'd never used before at a bit, with some of the bits and pieces in the engine, and gee, you know, it didn't pay off, did it?
Well, it mightn't have paid off, but you're doing well today, and we hope good fortune smiles for the remainder of the James Hardie for 84.
A long, long way to go, Mike.
OK, thanks, Peter.
As we take you back inside the headlight mounting of the Group A BMW, Denny Hulme at the wheel.
OK, still
look out for the truck and the car.
Currently lying in 31st position after 35 laps. Running strongly, unlike its stablemate, unfortunately. Listen to the gear changes.
the BMW coming along pit straight will take a ride up to the top of the mountain with the Group A car that is running ever so sweetly. This is going back to Allan Grice. Okay, we follow Grice along the pit straight. As we head up, that must be John Harvey, is it? In front of him in the 25 car. Okay, coming out of there onto the straight. Grice is gone. Round sideways into the... He's hit the wall. Allan Grice in the wall. No, it's Steve Harrington. Race cam showing you that. We'll replay that to you shortly. But problems now for the Roadways team with Steve Harrington obviously receiving a tap or something has gone wrong there. We'll go back to a replay of that shortly. Let's have a look again. Coming into the corner, it's 25. John Harvey in front of him. They come out of the corner. He's either lost it or been tapped from behind. There he is going across into the earth bank there. So we'll have a pit report about that from Pat Welsh shortly, as soon as we can get a reaction from Allan Grice, who had given the car over to Steve Harrington. But that is big drama for a front-running team.
As we rejoin Dick Johnson, and he's heading up the mountain again, past where Grice has obviously come to grief, Harrington at least.
Welcome back to the James Hardie 1000. We're riding along with Dick Johnson, and Dick Johnson has taken over the lead in the James Hardie 1000. That should make one Queenslander very happy, and that's the fellow who's driving the car. Is that correct, Dick Johnson?
It sure is, mate. Stick it up all them Holdens.
Now, come on. Some of our viewers might drive the Holdens.
Yeah, well, that's all right, mate, but they've been giving us a bad time for long enough. It's about time we give them one.
Well, how do you feel at this stage? You think you've got the wood on Perkins and Brock?
Nah, mate, it's a long way to go yet.
Yes.
A long way. But, you know, we got no problems. The car's just fine at the moment. And all we got to do is keep it all together.
Well, Dick, Steve Rebellion here, mate. You might be reassured to know that car 25, the second of the Holden Dealer Team cars, is in the pits and seems to have gearbox problems.
The 25 car had gearbox problems, did you say?
That's right. It's in the pits now.
Oh, well, that's real bad luck, isn't it?
It is if you drive the 25 car, Dick.
Oh, well, now he can't jump out and get into another car, eh?
Well, some funny things happen on the racetrack. We mentioned that the car 25 was in the pits, the second Holden Dealer Team Commodore, with gearbox problems. Well, the truth has just emerged. The gear lever came off in the hands, we believe, of John Harvey. So that would have been most uncomfortable.
Well, talking about uncomfortable, that's the way Allan Grice feels at the moment after the incident at Hell Corner, and as the repair work continues on his car. We're going to take you down into the pit lane and Pat Welsh.
Thanks, Gary. Yes, as you can see, there is major repair work going on with the Commodore here at the moment. They're trying to fit a new radiator at the moment. Allan Grice doesn't look at all happy, and it is going to be a major job, and I'd say the car will be here for quite some time yet. They're ready to put new tyres on. I don't think that is their major concern. They're doing some ready-made panel beating, as you can see, fairly heavy damage to the front of the vehicle, and Allan Grice stomping around, not very happy at all. I think we should take it back to the central commentary position at the moment.
Thank you, Pat. Allan obviously doesn't want to talk about at the moment. I think he'd have more on his mind, and that is watching the James Hardie 1000 just slip away from him. So troubles have beset the Roadways team. Car number 6. They started 2 cars this morning, withdrew 1, of course, which they had planned to do all along. That was Steve Harrington. Then Grice did a good job keeping the car up in the top 4 all morning. Pitted, put Harrington in the car, and he had a moment, as you obviously saw with our race cam coverage of the incident, off the track on the exit, of course, to Hell Corner. We've done some very quick work on it, but not quick enough. And we'll start the stopwatch now. Not a great deal of dialogue between the drivers. Let's go down to Pat Welsh.
Peter Brock obviously a little bit tense about this stop. He moved to Stewart's just a little earlier in the piece to move some gear from the Toshiba camp just in front of the dealer team camp, so he could have a clear run for the 05 Commodore to come in and have this vital pit stop. said, Michael, not a lot of dialogue between the drivers, and it has been lightning fast, this stop. Brock now ready to go. No, there's still problems with the lift-cam front wheel. Now Brock's away in super quick time.
Getting a big cheer from the crowd there too as Brock heads out over the ripple strips, looking for Dick Johnson's Falcon to come into view. But I think Brock has been able to, through doing a very, very quick pit stop, Johnson's car just coming down towards the end of Conrod Straight. Well, they've finally got the Roadways Commodore back out on the track again. And Steve Harrington, who got involved, whether he was clipped from behind and spun off and crashed into the wall. All that work back in the pit area, and Gricey is back out on the track again. No chance of winning it.
But he doesn't give up easy.
No, he's a survivor. He's a hard fighter. Things don't come easy to Allan Grice in his motor racing. He fights for every victory.
And Allan, it hasn't been a great day.
No, you can see I'm a bit busy, and that's just in a straight line.
Well, what are your plans? You going to stay out there or not?
No, I'm going to do another lap and bring it in and put Steve in. He was in the car when the car hit the fence. It's a bit the same as when you fall off a horse when you're a young bloke. The sooner we get him back in the car and get him all used to it again, it won't affect him, won't worry him. We don't worry about things like that.
It's giving you handling problems, is it?
Yeah, it's like trying to juggle an open box of confetti. you can probably see where the steering wheel is. It shouldn't be there. And it's down the straights, the place. It's interesting. Over those jumps, we haven't got our front spoiler on to keep the car down.
Well, right at the moment, Gricey, you're providing a lot of entertainment for viewers in New Zealand who've just rejoined our telecast.
Well, if you're still with us when we go down Conrod Straight, you'll see the front of the car lift right up in the air. The car actually two wheels for quite a bit on its back wheels because I haven't got the front air dam on, and we're doing about 160 mile an hour. And it's just trying to do a back somersault, but I'm pretty determined I'm not going to let it do that.
I guess it's been a sad way for you to say goodbye to Group C racing.
Yes, you can say that again. Although our boss has got a big heart, Ian Harrington, I think he might decide to do one more before he tosses the hat into the ring. But we could do Sandown or Adelaide. This thing's understeering and it's ducking and diving and it's bump steering. I'm glad I haven't got it in my driving school.
Our second place man, is that Dick Johnson pulling up? Where is that coming out of? It's coming out of the cutting, and Johnson has come to a stop up there. Oh, this is tragic news for the Queenslander who's been running so strongly and has just really affected the pit stop.
Somebody, I've heard a report out of fuel. That can't be right. He was in the pits not so long back. Well, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll worry about the dialogue, please, out of Dick Johnson. I would think that he has a problem, and you might be right, he might have a fuel problem up there.
Yeah, he's not out of fuel. I think he's got a fuel line blockage, more like it. I think maybe let's try and find out if we can from Dick himself, perhaps. Dick Johnson, Gary Wilkinson. Dick, can you hear us?
Yeah, mate, I can hear you.
What's the problem?
Some goddamn thing in the tank, I don't know.
What, you got a fuel blockage?
No, it's not a blockage, mate. It just won't pick it up. Mate, you got a problem when it won't pick up a full tank.
Dick, this is desperate bad luck for you.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Jill, I can see the look of disappointment on her face down in the pit.
I think it's one more of anger.
Dick, you know, it's very hard to come up with the right words to say at a time like this. I know how desolate you must feel because it's called the Great Race, and I know that's exactly what you planned to make it today. You're just stuck there now. What the hell can you do?
Just wait for a truck to pick me up. Damn it.
And that's all he could do is just sit there and wait for the truck to pick him up and bring him back into the pit area.
And suddenly the top end of the race has changed dramatically with George Fury disappearing, as well as Dick Johnson. We're following the leader still, and that Commodore.
Not just the leader, 2 laps clear.
I don't even think a wedge would help you there, Wilco.
My game's not that good.
Well, what a sad end to the James Hardie 1000. Buried there.
Ooh.
He's not upset much.
He got a big cheer from the crowd.
There's one thing that brings you back to earth at Mount Panorama, and that's the Australian race fans. You get out and demonstrate that you're really wild with yourself or your car, they'll bring you back to earth very quickly indeed.